What's up, internet? Friday night. What's going on? What are you doing? Yeah, here feeding my shrimp. I don't know what I'm doing. It's Friday night. Tired. So I decided to make a video because it's about time. It's been a week. I wanted to make like a 20-minute epic video. I couldn't get that much footage. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things. But I'm looking forward to just kicking back and relaxing. Long week of work. Probably gonna be messing around with this the 240 shrimp tank here tomorrow, and the 180. I'll probably be installing the plumbing on that tomorrow and shooting a little video on that probably. But the 240 has a couple of issues that I need to rectify. First and foremost, let's hit up on that. As you can see, plant deformity lets me know that something is awry. I get this occasionally from people that it seems like my tanks are pretty maintenance free, which realistically, in terms of things, they are. I really only have to clean the glass like once every couple weeks. Trimming is pretty minimal, mainly because I just let it overgrow like a jerk. But I do need to do some trimming. But as you can see from the video, plants are growing a little bit differently than they normally do, which is typical of the lights burning out and changing spectrum. I guess burning out is kind of a drastic way to put it, but they over time they tend to shift spectrum and do other funky things, which the first indication is I can notice that there's different algae growing on my glass. It's more of a green spot algae than the typical little hazy buildup that I get. Obviously, these shrimps have a tendency to terrorize some of the algae, so maybe that keeps it down a little bit. But realistically, algae doesn't really grow in a nuisance kind of way in this tank until the old fluorescent tubes start to burn out. This recently came up on a couple of Facebook group postings. I think Mass Aquariums. I think that was on. Somebody was asking about lights, or Aquarium Maniacs or something. I don't know. I'm on too many groups now to even keep heads or tails of any of that. Which I may be dialing that down because it doesn't seem to do too much benefit, and I do have a tendency to waste a lot of time on Facebook. But anyhow, the first plants to notice that they start shifting is a slight yellowing in the glosso in this aquarium. Basically, center stage, you can kind of see here, right in the middle of the tank, things kind of start yellowing out a little bit. And then around the corners of the tank, further from the lights, everything grows kind of a robust green. The Ludwigia you can see as it pan around. Of course, this is the crypts. A smooth video transition when I talk about Ludwigia and go to a shot of the crypts. The crypts are doing fine, but you can see the new growth is not as red as it was before, whereas the Ludwigia is a lot more red than it was before. It just kind of gives you an idea how different colorations, different plants will kind of let you know what's going on. I don't have a huge science background like a lot of guys out there. Tom Barr has a tendency to do a lot of that. If there's a bunch of reading that you wanted to do, Tom Barr would be the guy. He definitely tests stuff and goes along the scientific route. I go along the more of the experience route, I guess, trial and error, denial and error, as the old Trailer Park Boys would say. That's kind of the route that I go, is like kind of screw things up and then figure out how to do it right, and then pay attention in the future when I notice what screw-ups have come down the pipe. And this is one of them, to let me know that the lights are shifting. They're still usable lights. I just won't keep using them in a water application. So any of the terrestrial type plants I got going over the winter, I'll use those bulbs for that. They will work for that still. They just have a tendency to burn off the ability to penetrate the water properly, which doesn't mean that they're garbage. I'm still going to use them. But anyhow, let's move on a little bit to the shrimp colony. But other than swapping the bulbs, which I'll do that on Wednesday. So let's not move on. Let's talk about the lights still. I'll go pick some of those up on Wednesday. Of course, living in the Seattle area, it is pretty simple for me to go to a hydroponics store, which is another name for guys that need stuff for their weed grow ops store. There's basically a bunch of equipment, lights, fertilizers, all sorts of crazy stuff you can find in there. Very interesting store. I don't smoke weed. I don't give a fuck about weed or anybody smoking weed. I don't care one way or another. It ain't for me. But the only downside to those stores is you have a tendency to run into these like hippy dippy dudes that want to talk to you about their sensimalia or whatever the hell they're growing. Only downside, definite upside, you can find some pretty serious deals there on all sorts of clearance stuff and this and that. Generally speaking, I buy the super cheap Chinese import bulbs. I believe Spectralux makes them. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Spectralux makes them. And they the 48-inch ones run me about $6 to $8, depending on cash deal or not. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said in some of my other videos, I try not to name names of any of the stores because upside, downside, I don't want to be involved in any of that crap. I don't want to be involved in any of that nonsense. So, if you are looking for one of those stores, I cannot recommend a specific one to you, but go to one of them and see what they got and just mess around with those guys. As far as the shrimp colonies going, definitely recovered from the summertime blues of too hot. So they're back in pretty much full breeding swing. I recently shipped some out to Luis down there in Arizona. Sent out a batch to him. He's a long-time subscriber, commenter, emailer, whatever, communicator, human being from the Earth planet. And actually, a long time ago, he actually had some leftover light reflectors in his garage and sent them to me. So I figured that was definitely a good guy to send some shrimp to. And if it didn't work out, I would have tried again and again and gotten it right. As far as I know, everything worked out great. And now he's got some Seattle-born crystal shrimps in his Arizona aquariums. And what else am I going to do with this tank this weekend? Not that much. But, hey, thanks to all the new subscribers out there, all the new commenters out there, all the new keyboard-smashing ape-like chimpanzee descendants of the Earth planet. I appreciate you. And I will be communicating via the internet later on. Alright. That's a big happy Friday, and later. I bet you thought I was gone. Alright, seriously. Later.